Welcome everyone to Beyond the Adventure. Today's episode is the ice castles, and let's get started. So for the opening shot here, I wanted to show you guys the sheer height of these ice castles. Now, my guess is some of them had to be at least 20 to 25 feet tall. Now, this takes place in Lincoln, New Hampshire, which is up in the White Mountains. It's almost near the Canadian border, and this has been going on for the past 4 or 5 years now. I wanted to go last year to go check it out, but we ended up going to Portland and Maine instead. Anyways, this company sets us up in a couple different places in the country, and also I believe a couple places in Canada. They make these giant ice sculptures with lights inside of them, bring them to whatever spot they're going to set them up, and then spray water and expand on it until it creates this massive ice castle. And as you can see, there's all these different color lights that are inside of there that are changing color, and they had a bunch of just music playing. I couldn't really identify any of it, but I decided for this episode here I would do a live stream because this was coming up on the Season 5 finale of Adventure Wednesday. So I just figured I would take you guys in through here, and of course, that didn't really work out because the reception is terrible up in the White Mountains. Also, another strange thing, kind of like the Eastern State Penitentiary, they did not allow tripods in there, even though the tripod is a little tiny tripod, but nonetheless, very, very cool thing to check out. There's just all these walls of ice with icicles on them, just different sculptures set up throughout the entire thing. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't really know what those were. My guess was it was a start of something else. And you can see right here, there's a tunnel that you can walk through. There's a couple different tunnels. There were actually slides set up, and there were also little like cutouts where kids could slide in between the multiple areas, because there was like a big center area, an area with like a water fountain, and then like another area off to the back that had like snacks and kind of like a gift shop, but the gift shop was an old train station that wasn't really part of the ice castles. But like I was saying, very, very cool. We were here on a Sunday night, and I was surprised to actually see how packed it was. But like I said, something that you don't typically see, and these ice castles are set up so few and far between that it does attract a lot of people. That was the specific reason that we went up to the White Mountains, was to see that primarily, and then also figured out a couple other things to do up there as well. But as you can see, this is kind of like the main like ice area, ice arena, whatever you want to call it, and it just had all these just little like cutouts in the walls, and people were going back there to take their picture. And then there were these cool like obelisks that were sticking out of the middle of the ground that were all lit up different colors. I just love the different coloration that they use of the lights mixing and matching, and you never really saw the same pattern twice when you were looking through there. This was kind of cool. This reminded me of like a cave on Hoth or something, just like an emergency exit or whatever they had set up there. But I mean, this ice was completely thick. Like, you couldn't see when cars were turning in the parking lot, you couldn't see their headlights penetrating through the ice. You just saw whatever color light bulb they had in there. Right there is the slide that I'm talking about. Now, if you saw like really briefly, it turned red right before the person slid out of there. I don't know if it had like motion sensors or something in there. Either way, they had a couple of these little blocks set up for you to slide through, so I thought it would be fun to just hop in there and take a slide through. But we did eventually end up going down the main slide. Those are those giant colorful obelisks I was talking about there. Very, very cool, very like Lord of the Rings or Skyrim-ish reminiscent of. Now, when you're heading through here, you go up this kind of ramp to like a fountain, and then over towards the left. The fountain is inside that really cool other ice castle inside of these ice castles, but they also have, you can see a kid going through that tiny little hole down there. I wasn't there. I wouldn't dare to try to make myself fit in there. I mean, just look at that. That right there was probably the tallest thing in the whole place. You got to figure if these people are about 6 feet or so tall, standing on top of their shoulders, that's over 20 feet tall. Now, this fountain was really, really cool. The fact that they have just all this ice around there, and there really wasn't that much spray where it was, freezing to other parts of the ice castles where it wasn't supposed to. It was all self-contained inside the fountain, which I thought was really neat. Then walking inside here, like I said, guys, this was like Hoth, like Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. This was like the ice planet of Hoth. Now, none of these are permanent structures. These are all ice that is just sprayed up there. Here's that big slide I was talking about when I went on. We had to wait about 10 to 15 minutes to get down there. This was the coolest thing. Like, I've never seen the movie Frozen, but I can only imagine that was what that Elsa's chamber looked like. I mean, just really breathtaking and just amazing. I do apologize for the flashes on the screen. Whenever somebody took a picture with the flash, it would just reflect off the light or refract off the ice and just kind of ruin the footage there. So I had to do a lot of cutting around outside of there. One final look at the ice castles as we head to the parking lot. That's going to do it for today's episode. Next week will be the Season 1 finale of Beyond the Adventure. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I will see everybody tomorrow for Thungry Thursday Beer of the Week. Peace.